Hello everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is our stitch of the month, and what our stitch this month is the triple V stitch. We're going to be making this wrap that can also be lots of different things. It can be a cowl or scarf, a wrap, of course, wrap shawl. So it has lots of different uses for this particular pattern. We're going to be doing an open V stitch that's a triple V stitch, and it's a really simple pattern, and I wanted again to go with something that's a little more summery for June. That way we can make something that we can use right now. This will stitch up super quick. And if you do this according to the pattern that I have written, it's going to be approximately 17 inches wide and about 48 inches long. It's nice and roomy. It makes a wonderful, wonderful summer weight shawl. I like to take a shawl with me when I go to a meeting or to church because the air conditioner is always blasting, and it's nice to just have a little shawl just to put on your shoulders or to carry with you into a restaurant, again, when the air conditioning is blasting. Now you can find the written out pattern along with all the measurements, stitch counts, multiples, and all the information on that blog. And as always, that pattern link will be down in the notes underneath this video. To make this triple V-stitch cowl and wrap, you're going to need about 6 ounces or approximately 354 yards of a medium weight number 4 yarn. I used this yarn here from Lion Brand. It's called Just My Stripe. It naturally stripes, has great big sections of color, and I really love this yarn. Okay, this is what I used. The color is called Bubblegum. I thought it was perfect for summer, like the blue skies and the pink bubblegum, or the colors of the sunset. Super pretty, and I'm real excited. Again, this is probably going to be one of those wrap shawls that I keep for myself. So you're going to need about 6 ounces or 354 yards of medium weight number 4 yarn. Now, a lot of people always ask me, when I do something that's in acrylic like this, can they make it in cotton? And you certainly can. You can use any fiber or colors that you want to, as long as it's a medium weight number 4 yarn. Now you'll notice I have a J hook here. We don't normally go this big of a hook with a medium weight number 4 yarn, but I wanted it open and lacy for this project. And so we're using a J hook, which is a 6.0 millimeter crochet hook. You need a pair of scissors, and then you'll also need a needle just to weave in those ends. To begin, we're going to start with our slip knot, and we're going to loosely chain 52 chains. The reason we're going to chain just a little bit loose is we don't want the end of this to be bunched up, and if we stitch that beginning chain too tightly, it will be bunched up. So we're going to chain just a little bit loose, 52 chains. I have chained my 52 chains, and so we're going to begin with a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over and go through the second 2 loops. And now we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of those chains, working all the way across. And this is going to give us a nice row of double crochet as our base to begin our stitch pattern. 1 double crochet in each of the chains across. I have double crocheted in each of the chains across. We started in the 4th chain from the hook, and we're counting those first 3 chains as our first double crochet. So we have 50 double crochets across. And now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn our work. We're going to triple crochet in the next 2 stitches. 2 wraps on your hook, and don't wrap those too tightly. We'll go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2. And then we'll do that again in the next stitch. Our chain 4 counts as our first triple, and then we stitched 1 triple in the next 2. Now we're going to chain 4. We're going to skip 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the next double crochet, we're going to stitch our triple V-stitch. So we'll stitch a triple stitch, and then we'll chain 1 and stitch another triple stitch in that same stitch. Our triple V-stitch is a triple, chain 1, triple in the same stitch. And now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're again going to skip 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch a triple, 2 wraps. We'll stitch our triple V-stitch in the next stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch our triple V-stitch in the next stitch. Triple, chain 1, and triple. And this is our repeat across. Chain 4, skip 4, triple V-stitch in the next stitch. Chain 4, skip 4, triple V-stitch in the next stitch. Chain 4, skip 4, triple V-stitch in the next stitch. And we'll repeat this working all the way across this row. I have done the repeat of chain 4, skip 4, triple V-stitch in the next stitch across. And when you get to your last one, you're going to have 8 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chain 4, you're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll stitch 1 triple in those last 3 stitches. And remember that chain 4 at the begin, or chain 3 at the beginning of our foundation row is our first double crochet on that row, or last double crochet on that row, but it was the first one on the double crochet row because we counted that chain 3 when we started in the chain 4 to begin our double crochets. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for row 2, you're going to have 3 triple stitches. You'll have 8 triple V-stitches, and then you'll have 3 triple stitches at the beginning and end of the row. And that's the way that row 2 should look. We chained 4, and now we're going to turn our work. We're going to stitch a triple in the next 2 stitches because our chain 4 counts as our first triple stitch. Chain 4. Now we're going to go to the chain 1 space of the next triple and stitch a triple V-stitch, which again is a triple, chain 1, and a triple. Then we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We chained 4, and now we're going to repeat stitching a triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch. And that's how the repeat works for row 3. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch. And repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch. One, two, three, and oops, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. My hook got away from me. All right, and so that's our repeat across. Chain 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch all the way across. And again, you're going to have 8 triple V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you'll have your chain 4 and stitch 1 triple in each of those last 3 triple stitches. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's the way that row 2 should look. We have our 3 triples at the beginning, chain 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 spaces all the way across, and then we end with the chain 4 and 3 triple stitches in each of those last 3, and then chain 4. And so now row 4 is just a repeat of row 3. We chained 4. We're going to triple in the next 2 stitches. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch. And repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, whoops, 2 wraps, there we go, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the next triple V-stitch. There we go. And chain 4 and repeat across. So row 4 is just a repeat of row 3. 3 triples at the beginning, chain 4, triple V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the triple V-stitch, chain 4, and repeat across. I repeated across the chain 4, V-stitch, triple or triple V-stitch in the chain 1 spaces. Then we chained 4 and we ended with 1 triple in the last 3 and then chain 4. And so what you're going to do is to continue to repeat row 4 for 43 more rows. 3 triples at the beginning, 1 in each of the first 3, chain 4, triple V-stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces of the V-stitches with chain 4s in between, and then ending with 3 triple stitches, 1 in each of the last 3. And you'll repeat that, that's row 4, and you'll repeat that for 43 more rows, or longer if you want to make this into a nice long wrap shawl. Shorter if you want to make it into a shorter cowl. This pattern is very versatile and it's a great take-along pattern. So just to repeat row 4 for 43 more rows. So here is my actual project. I have all my rows done, and I wanted you just to see how open and lacy that is. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so now I need to add an even row of double crochet across my last row. That way we have a double crochet row on the beginning and end of our shawl or cowl, or whatever you've chosen to make. After you have completed your last row, instead of chaining 4, we're just going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Because this row we're going to be stitching all double crochets. The chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to double crochet in these next 2 triples. Now we're going to place 4 double crochets in this chain 4 space. We'll just go around that chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the chain 1 space of that V-stitch. Then we'll go to the next chain 4 space and stitch 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the chain 1 space of that next triple V-stitch. And that's how the repeat works across for this row. 4 double crochets in the chain 4 space. Whoops, there we go. And then 1 double crochet in the chain 1 space. And this is going to give us a nice even row of double crochets across the end of our project. I've completed this row. Nice double crochet along the end. Now we're going to cut our yarn and tie off. And we'll just use our needle and weave in our ends. And remember, when you're weaving in, go through stitches and fibers of the yarn to make it stay nice and secure. There we go. Back and forth, different directions. Although when you're in one color, like I ended with pink here, I don't want to go down into the blue because I don't want any of the pink to show through where it shouldn't. So keep that in mind when you're weaving your ends in. And the more you can weave back and forth through fibers and stitches, the better that's going to hold. So now my wrap scarf is complete. It's open. It's lacy, it's perfect for summer, and it works up super quick. And it's a great way to learn how to crochet the triple V-stitch. I just know you're going to have fun stitching up this pattern. And it's a great take-along pattern with you. Grab a skein or 2 of yarn and whip one of these up while you're traveling on your vacation. Or just, watching Hallmark Channel like I do.